Hello and welcome back to Crosshatch Puzzles. We're here for another New York Times Daily Crossword Solve. Today is Thursday, May 14th, 2026, and today's construction is by Simeon Seigel, maybe, who has contributed a couple of dozen puzzles to the New York Times, many of them apparently Thursdays. Thursdays we're expecting a tricky theme with some potentially challenging fill. Already we can see just the slightest hint of some black lines connecting some circled squares, so that I am sure is going to be somehow related to the theme, possibly affecting how we enter those theme entries. So let's see what we got. This is the puzzle for Thursday, May 14th by Simeon Seigel. Cliff formed by a fault. Is there a specific name for this? Avoided a tag. Avoided a tag. And we want a past tense in 4 letters. Tag tag can mean a few different things. It can mean tag in the game of tag. It can mean like a hashtag or a name tag, or it can mean a parking ticket. I don't know. Penultimate Greek letter. Is it psi? Reassuring reply. I can, or appealing. That's appealing. I don't know what any of that is. Prolifically posting about one's kids online in a neologism. Okay, I don't know. My fault entirely. Fault and fault, eh? My fault entirely, and we can't have my bad because my is in the clue. My all me? Maybe. Anatomical containers. This is almost always sacks in the grid. Thicken. Verb. I can't imagine this as anything other than a verb. Thicken. Usually this is gel or something like that. Palindrome on an Italian restaurant menu. Do we want alla? September to April in the oyster industry. I don't know. Alternatives to hourly wages, salaries, right? No? Alternatives to hourly wages. I don't know. Feature that debuted on page 1 of the New York Times in 1997. Sure looks like it's going to say column. UMN essence. No, I don't know. That ain't it. Ecological concern. Trellis piece. A slat? Maybe? If you ask me, in my opinion, the U indicating we want texting kind of shorthand here, I think. Maybe a slat? Taste? No, maybe not a slat. I think taste perception first identified in 1908. I'm guessing this is going to be umami in 5 letters and with an M in that position. Trellis piece, I don't know. Ecological concern. That ain't it. Maybe? No. No. Puente of the Mambo Kings is Tito Puente, the trumpet player. Essence. Prime breeding environment for mosquitoes. Stagnant water? Stagnant. Okay, so I don't know what's going on after that. Ecological concern. Why can't I see this? Or does it have something to do with the theme? Oh, avoided a tag in baseball. Slid. I don't know. I'm always surprised when I don't see baseball references. Gossip about informally. Dish or something. I guess this is not column. Oh, well, it might be still. What could this possibly be? Trellis piece. Okay. And does this help me with any of these? September to April. Nope. Alternatives to hourly wages. I really don't see what any of that could be. At sea, say, and I don't know if this is going to be something theme related, so I don't know how this is going to be entered in, I guess. Relatively unusual. Something like odder. I mean, this is, you usually have a strict comparative in the clue, but relatively might be enough of a comparative that's what's going on there. Rationalists' theology, I guess maybe deism or something, that would support this. Dems da breaks. Okay, this looks okay then. At sea. Out to lunch, or the U doesn't look great there though. Off something. Offshore. Had to have right away. Needed. Had to have needed, maybe. Biblical locale guarded by a flaming sword. I'm guessing Eden. I didn't know about the flaming sword. Palindrome on an Indian restaurant menu. Probably none. Flatbread. Ruthless. Athenian lawgiver. Athenian. Ruthless. Lawgiver. I don't know. Gets bloated. Say. Races against the clock. Timed heats, maybe something like that. I think, I suspect that races, we don't want an active verb here, but a noun maybe. On the something? What would that make this? No. GTHS doesn't really. Does it? Lengths, September to April. Lengths. Something like that. What if this is an E? That doesn't look great. Oh, maybe it does. Maybe this is not stagnant water? Standing water? Standing water. Per diems, alternative to hourly wages, per diems. On the something. Cliff formed by a fault. This does look like all me. Something months? A scarp? Thicken is to clot. R months? A scalp? L months? I don't see how. Color photo? Essence, the pith. Ecological concerns, smog. Trellis piece, a lath? Lathe? Is this H2O? Is this what's going on the water? Powerful fireboat gear. Impression on some fancy sheets. Fancy sheets. Gossip about. This look like dish, so color photos. So I think we want water here. Standing water, standing H2O, and then impression on some fancy sheets. Watermark. I see. Certain tax-free bond informally. I don't know. Dish on, maybe? Traveled path, the route. Velocity, for example. Water cannons. Powerful fireboat gear, water cannons. The elder or younger Roman. Cato the elder, Cato the younger. Decree, a fiat. Velocity is a rate stat. Okay, yeah. Because it's a meters per second. That's a rate, for example. Travel by pickup, to hitch a ride. Hemlock relatives, firs. I think hemlocks and trees are related trees. Hemlocks and firs are related trees. I think. Love struck could be smitten. Time trials, races against the clock. Yeah. Gets bloated, say, retains water. Direction to bow and music is arco. Hand at a hacienda, a mano. Hacienda is, I don't know exactly what it is, but certainly in Spanish. And hand in Spanish is mano. Draco, oh yeah, draconian law, ruthless Athenian lawgiver. Okay, Draco, yeah. Ancient book of divination, the I Ching. What collects in a puddle? Rainwater. Needed ASAP, had to have right away, needed ASAP. Simile segment is as a. Meaty pasta sauce, probably ragu. Gal Friday, yeah, okay. And good periods are ups as opposed to downs. Former small-sized GM cars. GM, small-sized, don't know offhand. Origin of the words sky and scrape. Uprooting tool. Long lunch, question mark. Things often getting free refills. Water. Glasses, it's too long. Pair for a pool. Water. Pair for a pool. Group with a satellite truck. Satellite truck. A muni, a municipal bond. Part of another part of an analogy. The other one was part of a simile, I suppose, a segment of a simile. Part of an analogy is to, yeah, okay. Strains to hear. Songs, I guess. Strains is another word for melodies. Flesh and blood is your kin. Prolifically posting about one's kids online. In a neologism. Sharenting. I've never heard that. That's interesting. Squeezing out, maybe eking out a living. Appeal, that's appeal. Potato skin? Potato skin, yeah, those can be tasty, yeah. So this looks like psi after all. Reassuring reply, I'm okay. Physics unit name for a physicist is ohm. Confucian way is Tao. I'm okay. 7-string instrument that gave the guitar its name. Is this a kithera? Maybe? Pair for a pool. Water wings, yeah. Tidy up in a way. To dust, maybe? News team has a satellite truck. Well, a member of a slug-like Star Wars species, a hut. I don't know if that's a species or a family. Presaging disaster. Dire, maybe? Water pitchers? News crew, then, maybe? Instead of news team, water pitchers getting free refills, okay. Go way up to soar, maybe? Compound with a carrot-shaped molecule as depicted by the puzzle circle letters. Here it is. Water. Forced through a food mill. I don't know. Heather Genus, that's also a woman's name. That's interesting. Erica? Really? To rice. Oh yeah, like a potato ricer. Okay, fine. Cut and paste, for example, is to edit. Broadcasting giant with hundreds of stations. Kithara, maybe. Whoops. Hello. What am I doing? Okay, there we go. iHeartRadio, I think is what this is. Kithara with an A there. Get ahead of. To pace, maybe? Uprooting tool. Oh, hoe, right, of course. Long lunch, question mark. What could that mean? Get ahead of. I'm a little stuck here now at the end of this. Get ahead of. Pave, to pave the way. Origin of the words sky and scrape. Norse. To get ahead of. To pass. Oh, okay, simple enough. And long lunch is... Oh, a hero sandwich. So this is GM Geos, maybe, I guess. Okay. What am I? Oh, I'm still missing this thing up here. I didn't even realize. This has got to be either a scalp or a scarp. Maybe a scalp. I don't know what our months are. Oyster industry, our months. I don't know. Okay, so I'm not a scarp. Yeah, so an escarpment. I guess that's what that is related to. I've not heard scarp on its own before. Anyway, let's look at the theme here. Compound with a carrot-shaped molecule as depicted by this puzzled circled letters. The circled letters are in that shape, that formation that water molecules often have, not often, do have, where the two hydrogen atoms are bonded to the oxygen atom, sort of at a symmetrical angle like this. And the way that this operates, the O does not affect the entry at all, but the H, both sides of the H stand in for the word water. So at 19 across, prime breeding environment for mosquitoes is standing water, and impression on some fancy sheets as a watermark on some paper. You might have a watermark. At 24 across, at sea says on the water, and 27 across, powerful fireboat gear is water cannons you might find on a fireboat. At 43 across, gets bloated says retains water, and then pair for a pool, a pair of things that you might have as you're going to the pool is water wings, especially if you're not so comfortable in the water. And what collects in a puddle is rainwater at 48 across, and 49 across, things often getting free refills at a restaurant, say water pitchers. So that's the water-related theme, appropriate for a rainy Thursday where I am at least. And let's take a look at some of the very Thursday misleading clues here. Avoided to tag ends up being a baseball reference, slid. I was right about Psy. I was right about All Me, too. Umami first identified in 1908, which is interesting because I feel like it experienced a renaissance, at least in the public discourse, maybe like 15, 20 years ago, something like that. I certainly didn't learn about umami as a kid when I was learning about the senses. Anyway, color photos debuting on the New York Times in 1997. That's pretty fun. We have these paired answers. Part of an analogy here, 32 across, is to, and simile segment as a at 54. I don't remember what Gal Friday is. It's just eluding me right now. I did not know that sky and scrape both came from Norse, which means that skyscraper is almost entirely a Norse, etymologically Norse thing. That's pretty fun. And Heather, which is a woman's name, and has a genus that's also a woman's name, Erica. That's very interesting trivia too. I don't know what GM Geos are. I'll have to look that up. Probably an old, very old style small car, as given by the clue. We have these paired entries as well: palindrome on an Italian restaurant menu, a la, and then palindrome on a Indian restaurant menu is non. I'll have to look up our months. Oops, our months. Don't know what that is. I'm surprised it took me so long to get smog, but lath is not a term I'm really familiar with, so that one does not surprise me. There are these stacks of 10 here: a potato skin, a peel that's appealing, fun clue, sharenting, needed ASAP, and time trials. Races against the clock, again, races we want to interpret as a noun here in order to get the correct meaning here. That ain't it for oh no is pretty fun. I don't really know. I guess these are municipal bonds. I've not heard them called muni, but fine. Travel by pickup. Oh, I see what they're trying to do. Yeah, the word play is on like a pickup truck, but no, not by pickup truck, by someone who picks you up. Strains to hear is great wordplay. Strains is a much less common synonym for melodies or tunes or choruses sometimes. I'll have to look up what a hacienda is. I don't really remember what that is. Glad I got kitara out of the just the K I think I had at that time. Long lunch took me a second, but it turns out to be a lunch that's literally physically long. A sandwich, a hero sandwich, a subway sandwich, submarine sandwich, I should say. Presaging here needs to be interpreted as an adjective, something that is presaging disaster, in order to come up with dire. And rice, I don't usually think of as a verb on its own, as opposed to something like a ricer. But there it is. So that is a great watery Thursday puzzle from Simeon Seigel. If you enjoyed this solve, please let me know by leaving me a thumbs up. If you want to know when I'm posting next, hit the subscribe button. You'll get those notifications. I will see you next time on Crosshatch Puzzles. Cheers.